Angie, what's up? Good morning. Tanisha, how you doing this morning? Oh, hey Rain. Good morning. How you doing? Look, I got stitches right here. Anyway, just living. I hear you, Angie. Good morning, Tanisha. T, how you doing? Good to meet you. Like we said the other day, T. Thank you so very much for coming through. How y'all doing this morning? I like this track right here. It feel like something good. Feel like you ever woke up in a good mood at like 10 o'clock in the summertime when you ain't had shit to do that day? This that song. You know what I mean? So good morning, 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 good morning. Welcome to a bunch of issues and complications and things, and I ain't about to let it trip me out though. It ain't gonna kill me. It's only gonna make me stronger. See my pink? You see my pink? Same here. So good to meet you. I love. Well, here go the thing, T, I can't, you know, I guess the family I'm from, the neighborhood I come from, you can't be out here doing all this fronting. You can if you want, but they gonna check you. Where I'm from, they gonna check you quick. You try to start acting extra. And I found that, you know, just humbling I guess the humble that you say that I have is me. That's me in front of God. You know, I know the God watching the whole time. God like, all right, you can get in front of you. You can go ahead and get bigger than you supposed to. If you want to, I can go ahead and spank you. But if you be humble and obedient, you might be all right, Joseph. And that's what I do. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm out here doing. Being humble and obedient. Get your black ass up. Good morning, good morning. Bring your black ass in here. It's 9:03 on a beautiful Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday. I'm trying to see if I have anything funny to share, good to share, hilarious to share, because I be grabbing, oh, I got something for y'all. Oh, I got something for your ass. Yeah, check this out. I really love this track. But look at this shit right here.
Put my first brother in jail in 1994. He didn't mind going to jail. He would say, Judge, why are you bothering me? I can go to jail. Just go ahead and do it. I don't want to deal with your probation conditions and your anger management, and I'm not going to talk to the guy that I hit and resolve it so I cannot go to jail. I'll just do the year. We used to pick cotton. Now we are the cotton. We are the product in the system, in the paid prisons that they make money off of. And they count on you guys not being able to handle your emotions. So you go. We used to pick cotton. Now we are the cotton. We are the product in the system, in the paid prisons that they make money off of. And they count on you guys not being able to handle your emotions. So you go. Not over millions of dollars, not over the health and welfare of your wife and children. Some words.
This was so
We
powerful
used to
to
pick
me.
cotton. Now we are the cotton. We are the product in the system, in the paid prisons that they make money off of. And they count on you guys not being able to handle your emotions. So you go. Not over millions of dollars, not over the health and welfare of your wife and children. Some words. Every brother I sent to prison didn't know what the fight was about. All he knew is how he felt about it. I am my ego. I can't take that. I can't be disrespected. I need you to sit whatever nonsense happened today down, because it matters to me what happens to my people. I put my first brother in jail in 1994.
All right, so we're going to leave that alone right there. I just needed to talk about, I just had to play that at the top of the morning, man. It was so powerful. It hit me in the chest when she said it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tell the young man, just tell people, period, man. Gotta control your emotions. Gotta control your emotions. Gotta control your emotions, man. And I know in our community, one of the things that I noticed that they take it that when she said it, it reminded me that one of the truths that I have known for a long time and I had to get talked out of when I was a kid was the controlling of the emotions. I have a horrible temper. My mother had to get me to go speak to people and then do my own self-checking back as early as the 8th grade to keep my emotions in check. Just because somebody says something, that's just them talking. And I've been able to hand that off to my daughter and my son so they do not, I'm gonna kill a motherfucker. If I hadn't, I'm gonna tell you what, this is what I do know. If I hadn't have got the advice and the counseling and the whatever to control my emotions, man, I'd probably have been dead years ago. I would have been dead years ago. I know I would have talked myself into something I could not have gotten myself out of easily. So I had to control my emotions, and not just when it's conflict time, when it's also, okay, control your emotions with greed, or not even greed, with delayed gratification. That the instant gratification that we need now is tied into our emotional life, and therefore we will go and do and say all kinds of things, cheat people out of money, do illegal acts, so on and so forth, to be able to say, I got it. You know how many brothers we would still be around if they known to check their motherfucking emotions? Exactly. Nobody. That's one of the things me and my son. When my son was little, even when he was little, he would cry. But I wouldn't tell him not to cry, but I would tell him that he now has control over what is going to happen next. You can go ahead and cry. You can go ahead. You know what? How you feel right now is. I'm not taking that away from you. I can never take that away from you. But what are you going to do next? What is your reaction going to be? How do you think of another way to get out of this besides just the one dead end that you see? And it's worked. I know for me, for sure, it's worked. And I had to run that clip this morning. Listen. Exactly. Shot the 14-year-old kid's mother. And the mother, he punched the mother and he got shot, the guy in Chicago. One more time.
I put my first brother in jail in 1994. He didn't mind going to jail. He would say, Judge, why are you bothering me? I can go to jail. Just go ahead and do it. I don't want to deal with your probation conditions and your anger management, and I'm not going to talk to the guy that I hit and resolve it so I cannot go to jail. I'll just do the year. We used to pick cotton. Now we are the cotton. We are the product in the system, in the paid prisons that they make money off of. And they count on you guys not being able to handle your emotions. So you go. Not over millions of dollars, not over the health and welfare of your wife and children. Some words. Every brother I sent to prison didn't know what the fight was about. All he knew is how he felt about it. I am my ego. I can't take that. I can't be disrespected. I need you to sit whatever nonsense happened today down, because it matters to me what happens to my people. I put my first brother in jail.
Yeah, they whatever he was fussing about. Let's talk. We right now, you know, I see the guy in Chicago who was shot. As a matter of fact, we need to say his name as well. That's another black tragedy. We don't right now. Everybody's like, nah, that's another black tragedy that we just seen. Another brother who cannot control his emotions. The sister and her son have been reunited and have been exonerated. All charges have been dropped against them. But this is going to follow them for forever. Who knows what this 14-year-old kid is going to go through emotionally for the rest of his life. You know, I was 14 and I had to shoot a man who punched my mother in the face. One, he had to see his mother get punched in the face. Two, he had to kill somebody. What does that do to you when you're 14? What kind of person does that make you? If this 14-year-old kid walked in to, if this 14-year-old kid walks into your establishment looking for a job, will you look at him favorably or unfavorably years from now? You know, right now it's easy to say, oh, we're going to hire him immediately. I think that me being a person who works in social services and sees people who don't get hired for reasons way less than this, he's going to have to deal with this for a long time. Then the brother who lost his life, that life has been changed forever. The woman who got punched in the face, that life has been changed forever. And then all of the family members in the community, all are paying a price. It's a collective thing. We're all paying a price, and we don't tend to think of it. We tend to think of just the victim and just but nah, it's just today. Nah, do killers make it back? When you have to kill somebody, do you ever make it back to being who you used to be? Can you walk around normal again at 14 after you shoot somebody? You know what I mean? When you're 14, you have to kill somebody. He was protecting his mother. I get that part. He had to. I probably would do the same. But the other side of it is, after any of us would do the same, but after we do that, what happens? That night you gotta go to bed. You was 14. This morning you woke up 14. The next morning you wake up, you a killer. You know what I'm saying? He's a killer. What's he gonna think? How's he gonna think? How's he gonna live? His life has been changed forever. The dead man is gone. His family's life has been changed forever. The woman who got punched in the face, her life has changed forever. All of them are now everywhere. Yes, Jeremy Brown is the guy who got shot. His life has changed. He's gone. His family, we haven't heard anything from the Brown family or any of those things. I've heard it been said that Jeremy had a history of this and history of that. But it goes back to what Lynn Toller was talking about in the clip. Us as African Americans, especially black men, controlling our emotions. That's a ton of trauma for a 14-year-old, for everybody to have to go through. And now let's say that Jeremy's family is ready to retaliate. We talking Chicago. We talking black folks, we talking Chicago. So the whole, you already know the whole, I'm gonna get that motherfucker. That cycle continues. I have a partner who just lost a loved one to a young kid with a gun. And, you know, the young kid who shot the other person, I don't know where he is. Hey, Yetta. Hey, Kieta. Oh, now Jeremy had 2 kids, huh? Now he's got, so now you mean to tell me there's 2 little girls involved who have to understand that a 14-year-old boy shot and killed their father after the father punched the little boy's mother in the face, standing in line at a fast food spot, at a chicken spot. It's a lot, man. So that's why I ran that Lynn Tola. That's why I'm running this clip this morning. Let's run it again.
I put my first brother in jail in 1994. He didn't mind going to jail. He would say, Judge, why are you bothering me? I can go to jail. Just go ahead and do it. I don't want to deal with your probation conditions and your anger management, and I'm not going to talk to the guy that I hit and resolve it so I cannot go to jail. I'll just do the year. We used to pick cotton. Now we are the cotton. We are the product in the system, in the paid prisons that they make money off of. And they count on you guys not being able to handle your emotions. So you go. Not over millions of dollars, not over the health and welfare of your wife and children. Some words. Every brother I sent to prison.
Think about that, man. So, there we go, man. Now, with all that said, we also have to find some way, you know, and I don't know. All right, so the tragedy in Chicago is something that we have become so accustomed to that we're almost desensitized to it. You know, it is. I want to address what Ursula just sent. Big shout out to Northrop Realty this morning. I so wish it was as easy communicating and resolving issues without violence. We as a community are traumatized when we stand by and do absolutely nothing. How can we? We don't stick together. We condone bad behavior, and I'm a firm believer of it starts in the home. Therapy isn't a bad thing, but we need to open our rec centers, let the kids take their aggression out in boxing, football, other things to keep the kids active and engaged. We also have to start having more mentoring programs for our youth. Sometimes the parents are the problem. Just my 2 cents, but we can talk until we're blue in the face. Me, coming from, I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. I just want to put one more thing on top of it. Each of us has to, it has gotten so bad that everyone has to get to work. And unless everyone gets to work, I don't see it popping off. I really don't. From what I see, when I go out and I work in community, when I do community work, the needs are so great. The chasm is so large. And the village part is so dismembered that if everybody does not get down, or at least, half, 50% of all black people have to get involved in taking care of black people outside of, I didn't know. I mean, like organized, legitimate, conscious, what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional movement and progress in that area. I'm sad to say it to y'all. Everybody said, like, I noticed, we say we need rec centers, we need boxing. Kids don't want box no more. Kids don't want to play basketball. You know what kids want to do now? They want to make beats. I taught young people how to make music. Unless you have a kid who started out as an athlete, if you talking about a 13, 14, a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid, if they weren't in sports when they were kids, they don't care about that rec center. That rec center is sitting there empty. The rec center has to be a place where kids want to come. What do kids want to do? Video games and video game competitions. They love making beats. Anything that has to do with the music industry, they are so down for that. They'll run to that. Anything where they get to socialize in person without an adult telling them how the fuck they supposed to be. What we understand when we were kids doesn't necessarily exist for these kids today. What they see, what they know, how they react, they don't react to those things like we used to. Organized sports is still very, like here in Bowie, Maryland. If I go to the rec, if I go to the gym, it's packed. Any day I go to the gym, it's packed with young black men playing basketball because it's something's in the water. But if most of these young men started playing basketball at 5, 6, 7 years old, if they haven't been involved up to that point, it's really hard to get them involved after that. At that point, if they're not into to organized sports, you have to meet them where they are, because anything else is just you talking. They don't see the value in any of that shit you saying. It's just talking. And as a matter of fact, I can Google it and find the answer quicker than all this talking you doing, auntie and uncle. So come in here and meet me at my level. Just like we needed the older people to meet us at our level. Remember Bill Cosby putting hip hop music on the Cosby Show, even though he was a staunch anti-hip hop guy. He still put it on his shows. I remember Bill Cosby putting breakdancers on at the Kennedy Center. Even though he was like, this is not my thing at all. He knew to get through, he had to meet the people where they were. And that's what we have to get into our heads. What we think, what used to work for us ain't gonna work for these kids right now. And you can go ask the people who are in social services. They'll tell you to your face. You can put all the basketballs in this motherfucker you want. That ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. So that's with the young people. And then the black community not only has apathy. Apathy is the whole I don't give a fuck. They also have fright. When you see somebody swing on a woman, if this was 1970, 1980, and most of the 90s, somebody would intervene. After crack came out and women became bitches in the songs, you was scared that the little boy who just punched that lady in the face was gonna come back and shoot up your house. Let's keep it $150. Let's keep it $150. Let's keep it a whole $150. Hey, Shanova, good morning. It's 66. It's 9:25 in the morning time. We did not do a moment of clarity, but I did play that Lynn Stoller clip to talk about the state of black folks. It's an impromptu. We having an impromptu town meeting this morning here on Joe Clair Live. Lynn Stoller put out a video that triggered me this morning, and it's coming on the wake of the brother who punched the lady in the face and got shot by her son. All charges have been dropped against them. But what we are focusing on is our side of it. You know, I know what the media says, but our side of it is, here's another trauma, another traumatic incident in a black community that not only affected the 3 individuals, the woman, her son, and the deceased, the woman's family, the son's future, the deceased's family, everybody who was in that, who was sitting there has more trauma added on. Everybody who was at that location has more trauma added on to them. And then all of us who see it here have more trauma added to us, right? I talked about going under. We're talking about going under the surface of what's really at stake. What's up, Mark? How you doing, brother? Ladies and gentlemen, the great and incredible Mark Clark is in here. Good to see you, Mark. Welcome to the Black Ass Bunch, Mark. The trauma, the 14-year-old boy's trauma. I don't know what happens once you're 14 and you shoot somebody. I don't know if your mind ever goes back to being a 14-year-old kid again. The woman who is now bringing charges against, she's bringing charges for being locked up and all of those things. But the trauma that she has, because her 14-year-old son now had to kill somebody. What is this family's Thanksgiving gonna be like? What is this family's Christmas? This will always be a thing. This will always be a talking point for this family moving forward forever. You ain't never gonna not talk about that time he had. Remember that time? That's the biggest thing in this family now. It's viral. It's on the news. It's everywhere. So think about that. Then, in reading the comments, you know, we tend to say these young people need bum bum. This brother was 32 years old. This brother was 32 years old. So having more activities for young people, we missing a point. And I'm hoping that y'all hear me loud and clear this morning, coming from a social worker. I am a certified social worker. I have a degree in psychology. I continue to be in social services. There's a disconnect between what we need and what we think we need. There is a disconnect between who has to do the job and what job has to be done and who has to do it. Personally, I believe everybody, each of us, has to do something for our community on a continuous basis before we see any real results. Until at least 50% of African Americans spend one weekend a month doing something community-based, we can hang it up. And that 50% doing once a month community-based is just a start, to be quite honest, because the African American mindset has to switch over. And that doesn't happen in a weekend, and that doesn't happen in a year. That happens over time. And of course, you know, this country do not like you changing your mind. They do not like you trying to change your position. They need it seems to me like everybody needs, it's a disconnect. One second, Anthony. You know, America doesn't like us thinking better of ourselves and getting bigger. They don't like that. Disconnecting personnel or resources, both. It's a disconnect in personnel. So when I go out, so I'll put out it for 3 weeks, a month. I will advertise that I'm having a food drive, or I'm having a clothing drive, or I'm doing a sleep out, or we're having this function for X, Y, and Z. And I guarantee you, it's always the same people who volunteer. It's always the same companies that say, here, I'll give you this to make sure X, Y, and Z can happen. It never changes. And I'm not talking this year. Like, I'm talking over. I've been watching this for 30 years. Now, I could. This is a little experiment. We got 69 people I see on here right now. Might be more. We might be more. Everybody, if you just think to yourself, when was the last time you gave an hour of your time to the black community you know that needs help? You see them, the young men. Somebody need to do something about these young people. They need, ask yourself, and don't answer here. Do not put an answer up. Don't put an answer up. This is just for you to personally own. It's time for you to own. It's time for some accountability. We don't like that word accountability. It's time for some accountability. Out of the 60-something people I hear, 75 people I see here, how many of us have given up an hour of our time to go take care of the problem that as we see it in our community? You volunteered for free in the last 4 weeks. Now, if you can count yourself in as doing something in the last 30 days for the black community, kudos to you. Keep up the good work. If you haven't, all I say is now you got work. We need you to show up. That's it. We need you to show up. Oh, my man Anthony Antmo down in the DR. Way to go, brother. Good to see you this morning. Bring me some sand back. But no, Shireen, don't put your hand up. Don't put your hand up because I don't want this to be I did it, and I want this to be personal. It's a personal thing. This isn't about, it's not about, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like showing everybody, nah. If you haven't, you got to get busy. We need the help of everybody. It's all hands on deck. It's all hands on deck. Now, once you've tried to find that hour, you realize why we have such a problem, because we are too busy chasing our lives. It's hard to give up an hour. It's hard. It's hard to find time to give up an hour on the weekend to take care of the community. It's hard. It is hard. It is difficult to do that. What up, Digger? What up with you? It's hard to do it. It's hard to get the fuck up and go volunteer, especially Saturday morning. Oh, Saturday morning, you be like, fuck this shit. I'm chilling. I can't wait. They Saturday? Shit, I'm thinking I want a bowl of cereal and some cartoons. Peepin' Rickety Rocket was my favorite cartoon. But it's hard to do. The thing is, now you got to get your kids involved. If you are a person, if you're a black person, this is my belief. This is the Joe Clair Live, so this is just Joe Clair's opinion. This is Joe Clair talking his shit. It is my belief that if you are a home or you are a family and you have, you reach the point where Saturday morning, bills is paid, and you chilling, you got some chill time, and your kids are healthy and happy and all of that stuff, you are the family we need to show up and help. You are the one, because you've overcome, and we need you to help pull somebody else over the fence. How do you help pull somebody else over the fence? Go do your hour. It's that simple. Do your hour. If you can turn it into 2, cool. If you can turn it into 6, fine. But go do your hour. Where do you do your hour? Anywhere. At a church, at a rec center, at any of these nonprofit organizations that are littered, that every community is littered with, at a school. All you do is reach out. Feel me, Dawn? D, we not trying to say who. D. We not competing on who does and who doesn't. If you don't, get up and do it. If you do, way to go. But if you don't, time to get to work. I was trying not to make nobody feel guilty. That's what I was saying. You got to pull somebody. We all got to pull somebody else over the fence. We have to. And it's hard. This shit is difficult. I ain't going to sit here in front. When you dive into people's trauma, oh, this shit get hard. Cause then guess what people in a traumatic state need to do? They need to get that trauma off of them. So they try to put it into your lap. And I need this, and I need this, and I need this, and I need this, and you ain't gonna believe it, these motherfuckers. They need you to share in the trauma with them. So doing the work with them, and the trauma is right there in front of them all day, every day, till it ain't. Till they get the key to learn how to deal with the trauma. We have a lot of work, and you best believe, no one, there is no one who is signing up to help save the black community outside of the black community. No one. I've been doing this 30 years. No one. Anthony Roberts said we need more Little League baseball resources in the hood. Kids don't want to play no baseball. It don't turn them on. They want to play basketball. If they little. That's why you don't, ain't no more Bo Jacksons, Reggie Jacksons. Matt, I can't name a black baseball player right now. I can't name no baseball players. It went out of style. Now, we do have those exceptions where you will find a kid who plays baseball, runs track, does equestrian or something like that because somebody got them into the sport. And I'm going to say yes. Those, if we have those resources there, it would be great. Or if you can grab them young enough, a little league team does work. But that stops the 16-year-old when he's 5. He doesn't become a 16-year-old. He doesn't become a juvenile delinquent because you took care of him when he was 5. And he had all it. Not only was the coach there for him, but his family was there for him. The team was there for him. The school was there for him. He had a support system, and that got him through. Me personally, I had a support system. We didn't have a lot of money. Now, the money might have been funky and fucked up. I might have been in thrift store clothes, but I had a support system. I can go knock on somebody's door when I was in trouble or in need. When I got caught selling drugs, I had a support system that gave me my discipline and gave me an opportunity to turn my life around. That support system took care of me and made sure I was straight. A lot of the young people that we need to reach do not have a support system. They just don't. It's a part of our and when speaking to those young people, but I feel speaking with those young people and those families, you feel a bit of shame because we have so many. I feel a bit of shame when I meet a woman who has like I told you, I met that 21-year-old girl who had a 7-year-old child. She was 21 with a 7-year-old. You understand what I mean? And I felt so ashamed of being a man at that point. I felt so ashamed of men and anybody in that situation who sat there and watched this go down and had nothing to say or do or help. Couldn't help. I felt so much shame. And when you get and when you get into that shameful thing, it's hard. The person who's volunteering next to me, if they feel that same shame, they might not come back next week. It made them feel too bad. My wife does not keep going back to the same traumatic place. She went and volunteered one time. She was trying to give some business. These were young people who were trying to get jobs. and resume this and so on and so forth. And so she went down to talk to the young people, and it was so traumatic for her, she couldn't go back. She's like, I just can't go back. Brother came up to her and was like, I got 2 felonies and blah, blah, blah. Can I get a job if I got this, I shot somebody and blah, blah, blah. And my wife was just, she had forgotten. She had been at her job doing what she do, doing what she do. And she had been out of touch with what the streets is going through. And when she got back in touch, it made her feel all kinds of ways. She was just like, God damn, how are we like this? And being from the west side of Baltimore, it wasn't like this was something foreign to her. She knew this all too well, but it triggered so much stuff for her, she couldn't go back. So that adds to the lack of resources for the people who need it. We got this whole goddamn thing that just keeps going. And the only way to beat it is to keep showing up till we die. We will not see we may not live to see the change, but we do know the change will come. Like I said, that's me, Joe. She said I had all of my kids before I turned 18 and we made it. Goddamn right you did. That's real talk. And I'm sure you had a My 30-something babies have been and are still doing fine. Yes, indeed. I'm sure you had a support system that helped you, your moms and your aunties. And they said, you taking your ass home. These kids ain't gonna be them kids that's out there. There you go. So, yeah, back in the day, we had strong community. You ain't never lied, Ursula. Although people don't like the police, they used to come to the schools, give a good talk, side-by-side band, or play the music, form a connection. Also, other parents were able to discipline us. And that's gone. We let it go. America sold us. I hate to say this, and I hope y'all listen. Let me turn this music off. America tricked us into believing that once the segregation thing popped off, that we should go and explore all these other options outside of keeping our community strong. And it became more of a, I don't want you in my business. It went from everybody is together to I don't want y'all in my business because I'm trying to get more. My mother talks about the time when she noticed it went from it went from we to me. In the 80s, we started getting called the me generation. Remember that? When we started saying me this and I this and I am and we are, and I am me. Every rap song was about me. And we got rid of we. The only we song I can think of is We Are the World. It wasn't no more, not just the songs, but also in how we treated each other. I need a better car than he did. Than he has. I need a better car than them. Oh no, we competing against them. Or we competing against them. Or we need a bigger house. We need everything else. We bought into it. We bought into it wholeheartedly. We bought into that so wholeheartedly that now we buy so much shit on credit. So first of all, when you buy it on credit, that means you cannot afford it. Right? You really do not have the money. You're hoping to have the money in the future to pay it off. I had this job. I'm going to leverage the hopes and dreams of this job against this thing that I'm trying to get right now. That's credit. To appear like everyone else. Or like we're better than. Or just as good. You know what I mean? I had to get thrift store clothes in that time. In those years from 16 to 19, I was getting thrift store clothes. 16 to, not 16. Shit, no. From 13 to 16, I was getting thrift store clothes. By the time I got my own job, first thing I did, start buying clothes. Because I didn't want to be an outsider. I didn't want the finger pointing at me. I didn't like that feeling. So I bought into the narrative that I better have more. And you got to believe this is at the time where, guys is wearing these gold chains and so on and so forth, chasing the Joneses. When I didn't give a fuck about the Joneses, that's when I started making progress. So, just like I asked a question about how much you volunteered, and you kept that to yourself, ask yourself a question. How much are you really keeping up with the Joneses? How much shit do you buy to impress other motherfuckers that you do not know do you have in your life? And be honest with yourself. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I remember watching my little sister go through her closet one day, and she had all this, just all this beautiful high-end shit. And she was like, I just bought this shit to be buying it because we used to not be able to buy it. And now I wish I had this money back. It's something to think about. I drive a Honda Accord. I can go out here tomorrow and buy any goddamn car I want. I can go buy any car I want. I can walk into a dealership right now and they'll give me the keys to any goddamn thing I want. Honda Accord. And it got a dent on the side. I ain't even taking it in for service yet. So for real. And this is a personal thing. These things that we speaking about all come down to personal. At the end of the day, keeping up with the Joneses, the violence we were talking about at the top of this, what the kids need to do and volunteering and everything comes down to the personal choices that we make daily and the personal habits that we fall into. Yeah, my shit still got a dent in it. My shit got a dent in it. Somebody scraped the side of my car. I ain't even get it fixed yet. My wife, when you gonna get that motherfucker fixed? You look horrible. And I'm like, yeah, I do. But at the same time, let's keep it a buck. The motherfucking car runs beautifully. The only thing I would spend the money to get it fixed just so it looks nice. I'll get it fixed when I feel like getting it fixed. Real talk. I get it fixed when I feel like getting it fixed. Fuck these people. Real shit. For real, man. For real. I have a real, I don't give a fuck about them people attitudes sometimes, man. Trying to impress you funky motherfucker. Real shit. The cars, the clothes. Y'all see this? Look at this cheap ass watch I got on. It tell time. It say the same time that Rolex tells. Lonnie, what up with you? Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Lonnie Davis is in the building. Shit, Baltimore's showing up. Mark Clark showed up. Lonnie Davis showed up. Yes, indeed. All of my kids have great credit because I added them as authorized users on my credit cards. Financial literacy is important as well. Don't work to buy bullshit. Save and invest is what we do. About to bring my son in on the business side of my business, and he's building his own off of mine. Exactly. That's a beautiful thing. But you got one more obligation, Ursula, you got one more obligation. Now you gotta go to your son's school or to his group and find a little motherfucker who needs the help and bring them along too. We got about, I don't know how many motherfuckers. We got about 6 or 7 young people that we help on a regular basis. Some of them really do make progress. Some of them is some shit. They need a lot of help. They parents ain't do a damn thing with them. And I'm like, boy, I got you though. You feel what I'm saying? You know, it's hard, and that obligation is gonna be hard. You know, finding one more kid in the community who needs some help and helping them is hard. But it's what we got. If we want to see real change, it's one of the things we got to do. You will find pushback from help, true indeed. So that's why you help the ones who are already in the mood of helping, in the mode of helping themselves. That's why I chose Covenant House. I chose Covenant House to volunteer at because they are already signed up into a program to make their lives better. So these are people who are already like, these young people signed up for a program. They like, fuck it, I gotta get it. And I'm like, okay, boom. I can help. Other people who, don't, who just sitting around, you go say, I got something for you. Yeah. It's gonna be hard. That shit, them people drive shit. And I'm not breaking up my marriage because your hard head ass don't want the help. I can't save everybody. Can't save everybody. So save the ones you can. Remember that part. Now that's shit. Let me turn the music down again. I don't know if Mark Clark's still here. Word up. I have to say this. The other part, when you see somebody who need the help, and you know you have the resources that they need, but they are fighting you tooth and nail, it's a hard pill to swallow when you gotta cut yourself off from them and turn your head back this way. You gotta leave them over there. I have a gigantic heart. Right? What up, Mark? And this is the part I want to say, Mark, and I'm sure you've come across this in your life as well. When you see the people who really need the help, and they fight you tooth and nail for the help, it's a hard pill to swallow to walk away from them so that you can take the energy you were giving them and give it to somebody who is really going to show the results. This person needs the help, but they fighting you, and the help that they need is more than you can give. Do you continue going down that road, or do you take what you can do and take care of these people right here? Because what happens to them? Well, they become worse. They end up on the news. You see them, months later, here or there, and they never got the help, and it's bad. But you know their mindset, so what do? And then those people go further and further down the hole. Oh, they tried to help me, but these motherfuckers couldn't help me, so fuck them. And they go even further down the hole. So the chasm gets even wider. Woo! It's a lot. Social services. And that's what we really talking about. Social services. The conservatives like to say, that's socialism. Everybody need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. We need to get back to family values. And so on and so forth. And we do. But in doing that, it's nuanced, it's hued. Insert, y'all heard, that's a big ass word, bitch. Hued. It's hard. This shit get hard. So before we get out of here, it's 9:54. Before we get out of here, back to our original post that started this conversation today. If y'all didn't see it, check this out.
I put my first brother in jail in 1994. He didn't mind going to jail. He would say, Judge, why are you bothering me? I can go to jail. Just go ahead and do it. I don't want to deal with your probation conditions and your anger management, and I'm not going to talk to the guy that I hit and resolve it so I cannot go to jail. I'll just do the year. We used to pick cotton. Now we are the cotton. We are the product in the system, in the paid prisons that they make money off of. And they count on you guys not being able to handle your emotions. So you go. Not over millions of dollars, not over the health and welfare of your wife and children. Some words. Every brother I sent to prison.
That got the conversation started today. And what I was trying to convey to anybody who could hear me today is that it's not a Band-Aid that we need. We need a real cure. Recreation centers are a Band-Aid. Activities are Band-Aids at this point. Activities are Band-Aids. Those are Band-Aids. What we need is what has to happen. A cure for this is a change in mindset, changing where our hearts lie, changing where our focus is. Our focus is on a lot of things and posturing as opposed to, in America, let's keep it real. I want to make sure that I have enough money for my vacations and so on and so forth. And I'm not mad at that at all. You're supposed to have a good life. At the same time, when the trauma pops up on your Instagram, on your TV, and when you're watching the news, you see it on your Facebook, that nagging that you feel in the back, that nagging, oh, something needs to be done, is really the universe saying you have to do something to do this, to fix this. Because you can recognize you have this great life and something needs to be done. The cats who see the shootings that are in that life are like, shit, people die every day. Ain't nobody think about that shit. I ain't about to help nobody. Those of us who feel bad about it, who not in that life, the universe is telling you, hey, go do something. Go help. And we have to change. We have to have a whole shift in mentality and approach. All the way down to what we actually offer the youth, the needy, the homeless, the young angry brother. Don't act like the young angry brother don't exist. What do we really offer him? When he's in the middle of anger, first thing he needs is some money. I'm going to tell you what he really needs. He needs some money and some pussy. But we don't have nothing to do with the money. I can't do nothing because that call me. Ladies, y'all don't know the power of that part right there. Now y'all don't understand. I'm not asking you to volunteer, but I am saying he needs some money, but he also needs a clear path out of that situation. He needs something that clicks his mind. Something that clicks his mind that says, oh, this is my clear path. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. I would love to be able to say I've seen this happen thousands of times. I can't make it happen thousands of times on my own. We all have to do something. That means my wife had to get back into volunteering her way. She couldn't do the traumatic thing that she did before, but now she does it her way. You understand? With young ladies and women with kids. You know what I mean? I'm getting my kids into going and helping serve. The act of service for our community. The act of service. What act of service can we give to each other? That's where a bright smile comes in. That's where this broadcast comes from. I wanted to, of course I need to do the real estate thing, but I also wanted to give everybody some namaste. You know what I'm saying? I mean, give you some of this namaste in the morning to help our community. And the fact that I got somebody watching in Texas, somebody watching in Baltimore, somebody watching in Florida, somebody watching in North Carolina, that means I'm affecting our community. I make us laugh if I can. I play some good music. I try to say some uplifting shit. I try to do that's work. That's me making a choice. You feel what I'm saying? Now, you think my wife happy I come down this motherfucker every morning and spend an hour where I'm not getting paid? Doing this? No. However, I see the work. The fact that people come back to me and say, I got a phone call yesterday. I'm not going to say who called me, but I got a phone call yesterday that talked about this very broadcast and how proud they were of what I was doing. And I was like, I'm just doing me. They was like, well, keep doing it. I was not doing anything I thought was extra. I thought I was just doing my little part. The fact that I made you proud is the extra. It's just, that's the gravy part. But I ain't come for the gravy. I came to eat the mashed potatoes. I can eat them without gravy. You feel what I mean? So what I want to say, I'll take away from today, everybody got to do something. You gotta hop up and do something. If you can go on a local website and find a place to go be of service to the group of people that you can recognize. I'm not going to say who you need to help. You know who you need to help. If you know who you need to help, go find a way to help them this weekend, next weekend, the following weekend, whenever you can show up, because the problem is ongoing. There is urgency, but you show up in your time. Just know that we need you to show up, and when you do, you're going to, and then the other part is the feeling you get when you do. Go do. Now, that's a whole nother thing. I got to get out of here. It's 10 o'clock. I got to go pay some bills. To lean in, make you laugh, Tony. Thanks, Lonnie. Thank you, Lonnie. You as well. Shit. Joe said, since I met you, it's always been your stage presence and your outgoing attitude for people that I have enjoyed. Much love, brother. Thank you, Lonnie. But you as well. Shit. That's us. That's us. I got to run. I will see y'all tomorrow, 9 a.m. right here. Mark Clark. Salute, Mark. Good to see you, my brother. Let me know whenever you need me to come on that show. Please let me know, all right? I got to bounce. Y'all be well. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.